Good morning, graduates, friends, and family, and welcome to Colby-Sawyer College's Commencement for the class of 2020. I'm Anna Masters, and I have been honored to serve as your president for this past year. Although the second half of the year didn't end exactly how we wanted it to, I'm thankful for the community and connections we built during our time online learning. And while we all wanted to spend our commencement ceremony together, I am so thankful for the community, for the friends, and my time at Colby-Sawyer College. And I am so honored and thankful to be able to say that I am Colby-Sawyer, class of 2020.
Hi everyone, it's Jack Lisi, your class of 2020 treasurer. I'd like to welcome you all to Colby-Sawyer virtual commencement. I really wish, and I'm sure you all wish, we could be there in person to celebrate, but unfortunately that's not the case. So I'd just like to say welcome and congratulate all of you on a successful 4 years. You should be very proud, and I hope to see all of you soon when this is all over.
Congratulations, class of 2020. We are here and we are celebrating you and all of your accomplishments. I am Iman Pereira Mozinho, your vice president, and I'm wishing everyone here, family and friends, a warm, safe, and happy graduation. Congratulations, everyone.
Welcome to this auspicious day, the 182nd commencement of Colby-Sawyer College. We have gathered to celebrate the accomplishments of the graduating class of 2020. Now please rise if you are able and join graduating senior Hannah Collins, an English major from Litchfield, New Hampshire, in singing the national anthem. When finished, please be seated.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Hannah. Chair Hogarty and members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, faculty and staff, family and friends, and graduates, welcome to Colby-Sawyer's commencement ceremony for the class of 2020. Graduates, this is your day, and we look forward to celebrating you and all of your accomplishments. This commencement ceremony and its rituals provide an opportunity to reflect on your journey to this point and to look forward to your next steps. Today, we celebrate Colby-Sawyer's history. We honor those whose service and leadership exemplify our values, and we anticipate the promise of your bright futures. Today, we will also honor 3 individuals who have led extraordinary careers in education and as a philanthropist. Dr. Pat Anderson and Ann Page Stecker have each devoted over 40 years of their lives to educating, mentoring, and advising Colby-Sawyer students. Natalie Davis Rook has exemplified generosity and selflessness throughout her life in support of numerous organizations, including Colby-Sawyer. One of Colby-Sawyer's traditions is to ask the Jack Jensen Award recipient, the college's highest teaching honor, to offer the commencement address. This tradition exemplifies our core strength at Colby-Sawyer and the enormous and transformative power of the relationships between our students, faculty, and staff. We look forward to hearing from Professor Lynn Garriock in a bit. As your president, however, I'm supposed to impart some words of wisdom as well. Your class will always have a special spot in my memory as we arrived at Colby-Sawyer at the same time. And regrettably, your 4 years have been marked by overcoming challenges, most recently with COVID-19 interrupting your senior year and causing you to finish your educations remotely and preventing us from being together today. But you are a class that is epitomized by resilience. You hung in there as the college found its way financially, having to make some difficult decisions during your time here, and even enduring an especially late mountain day your junior year, on which there was snow on the trail. Despite all the challenges, there were many positives as well, and I ask you to think about the many things from Colby-Sawyer that you will carry with you. 4 summers ago, I attended a week-long conference for new presidents at which I met some amazing people. I want to borrow a thought from one of my colleagues, Dr. Paula A. Johnson, president of Wellesley College. In her first commencement speech, she employed her students to do the following. Always err in the favor of human connection. It's in relationships, in those connections, that magic happens. It is often where we find the inspiration, where we connect most deeply with the best parts of ourselves. Here at Colby-Sawyer, your education has been fostered through the power of relationships. The friends you have made, the faculty who have invested time and support in your success, the staff members who served as your job supervisor or friendly face in the dining hall. What I have come to learn during my years at Colby-Sawyer is that the relationships built here endure, and they serve as a great foundation upon which you can build and pursue your dreams. Throughout the COVID-19 weeks when you were forced to finish off campus, I was awed by the creative ways you found to stay connected to one another and maintain your relationships. As you head off to new adventures, find strength in the relationships you have built here and continue to draw upon one another as you face your new adventures and next challenges. Here in New London, we are graced by beauty every day. I imagine each of you has been moved by some aspect of this beautiful landscape, whether it be the profile of Mount Kearsarge at the edge of our campus, the beautiful sunrises and sunsets, the sound of snow crunching under your boots, or the abundant stars. As you move on from this special place, finding that beauty on a daily basis may be more difficult. Remember, though, what Henry David Thoreau said. It is not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. I implore you not only to look for beauty every day, but to see it, and to help others see it as well. There's a proliferation of information in our world that all too often is applied in more simplistic and inaccurate ways than ever. At Colby-Sawyer, you learned how to think critically, to reason, to see connections between disciplines, to question on what basis an argument is made, and to imagine and develop your own contributions to knowledge. Albert Einstein said, "We cannot solve our own problems with the same thinking we used when we created them." In a world that bombards us with information and data, often used to make arguments that support freighted points of view, we need you to add your voices to the conversation. We need you to question, to seek answers, to have the courage to speak up, and share your perspectives and knowledge just as you've done throughout your time here. Today, we send you off into a world that quite frankly is polarized. During your time at Colby-Sawyer, you have confronted differences. Think about how many times you realize that not everyone sees the world the way you do. Sometimes our instinct is to see those differences as threats, but resist that tendency. Malcolm Gladwell, author of the thought-provoking books including Outliers, Blink, and The Tipping Point, said, "The key to good decision-making is not knowledge, it is understanding. We are swimming in the former, but we are desperately lacking in the latter." At Colby-Sawyer, you not only gained knowledge, you have practiced understanding. As you go forward, continue to respect each other's point of views, to seek to understand, to complement each other's various talents and backgrounds, and to illustrate to those around you that differences do not mean that we have to distrust. Believe and trust in who you have grown to be and will continue to become. I know each of you is ready for what is next. Finally, each of you has had someone who supported you along the way, a parent, a family member, a best friend, a faculty member or staff member. The fortunate among you has had more than one champion who celebrated your successes and supported you through your challenges. Many of them are cheering you on today, either in person or remotely. Be sure to take time to thank them for their support. Thank you to the class of 2020 and best wishes. We now begin the awards portion of our ceremony. The college presents its highest honor, the Susan Colgate Cleveland Medal for Distinguished Service, to someone who best exemplifies this institution's first teacher and principal, Susan Colby, and her attributes of hard work, dedication, generosity, and influence in the field of education. This year, we present the medal to Dr. Pat Anderson, a member of the Colby-Sawyer's faculty. Pat Anderson, you leave Colby-Sawyer after over 40 years of dedicated service to the college and devotion to your students. You joined the college's faculty in 1977 and quickly earned both the respect of your peers and admiration of your students. Your high standards challenged students to exceed expectations, and you often instilled in those who took your classes a new love for film and literature. You earned the Jack Jensen Award for Excellence in Teaching in 1998, and in 2004 were selected as a George Washington Distinguished Professor and Scholar by the New Hampshire Society of the Cincinnati. You were honored with the Gibney Distinguished Professorship in 2007, in which you developed and implemented a public speaking initiative at the college, and were presented with the college's Gown Award in 2016 for your extraordinary work and contributions in the New London area. During your 43 tenure at Colby-Sawyer, you completed sabbatical leaves that took you to Central and South America, the Pacific Northwest and Alaska, New Zealand, and several mound builder sites in the Midwest to study the indigenous people who constructed them. You have also traveled the state for more than 25 years, giving presentations as part of the New Hampshire Humanities Council's Humanities on the Go series, and are the author of In Its Own Image, The Cinematic Vision of Hollywood, published in 1978. In recognition of the exceptional ways you have challenged and motivated your students and peers, you are this year's recipient of the college's highest honor, the Susan Colgate Cleveland Medal for Distinguished Service. Please join me in congratulating Pat Anderson. Thank you. This year we have two recipients of the Susan Colgate Cleveland Medal for Distinguished Service. Ann Page Stecker, you retire from Colby-Sawyer after 40 years of steadfast dedication to both the college and its students. You joined the college's faculty in 1980 and participated in an advisory committee that ultimately chose to transition Colby-Sawyer to a coeducational institution in 1990. Beloved by your students, you are known for your passion for the works of William Shakespeare and Virginia Woolf, and often pass that passion on to those you taught. You received this Jack Jensen Award for Excellence in Teaching in 1991 and were the driving force behind the creation of the Wesson Honors Program, which offers academic, cultural, and social opportunities for the college's most highly motivated and capable students. In 2002, you were honored as the first David H. Winton Endowed Teaching Chair in recognition of your excellence in teaching and leadership on campus, and were chosen as the keynote speaker at the 2008 Women Who Make a Difference luncheon in New London, New Hampshire. A historian and writer, you've published 3 books during your time at Colby-Sawyer: Sisters of Fortune in 1993, Our Voices, Our Town, A History of New London, New Hampshire from 1950 to 2000, and New Hampshire Cross Currents in Its Development in 2004. You recently completed writing a yet-to-be-published fourth book, a biography of Mary Elizabeth Wilson Sherwood. In recognition of the remarkable ways you have impacted both the college and inspired its students, you are this year's recipient of the college's highest honor, the Susan Colgate Cleveland Medal for Distinguished Service. Please join me in congratulating Ann Page Stecker. Arthur Levine, former president of Columbia University, described the purpose of an honorary degree as the last lesson a college can teach by showing examples of people who most represent the values the institution stands for. Today's recipient certainly exemplifies the values of Colby-Sawyer. The honorary doctorate recognizes an individual of humanitarian character and superior intellect whose life and work have brought about positive, far-reaching consequence for individuals and organization. This year, the award is presented to Natalie Davis Rook, class of 1948. Through a decades-long commitment to Colby-Sawyer, you have helped shape the direction of the college and ensure its success well into the future. As a member of the Board of Trustees from 1987 to 1996, you served on the Academic Affairs, Campus Planning, and Enrollment Management Committees, and played a pivotal role in the 1995 Presidential Search Committee that led to the hire of the college's seventh president, Ann Ponder. In 1996, you were awarded with the Susan Colgate Cleveland Medal for Distinguished Service, the college's highest honor, in recognition of your work as a trustee. You, along with your husband, Robert, are also among Colby-Sawyer's most generous financial donors. Your many initiatives include funding an acquisition of a critical 20-acre parcel of land at a key point in the college's history that enhanced the quality of student living and learning. As a result of your generosity, you and Robert were inducted into the college's Legends Society in 2003 for your lifetime financial contributions totaling more than $1 million. In addition, you and Robert have helped fund the education of hundreds of students who would otherwise been unable to attend Colby-Sawyer through the creation of a pair of scholarships. The Natalie Rook Endowed Scholarship and Marianne Rook Farrell Endowed Scholarship, named for your late daughter, together support scholarships for more than 20 students each year. You have helped fund an annual trip to New York for the business administration students. Though your contributions extend far beyond those made to your alma mater, as evident in a lengthy record of support to educational institutions, hospitals, churches, and nonprofit organizations, your impact on Colby-Sawyer will benefit students for years to come. This year, Natalie, you are the recipient of an honorary Doctor of Humane Letters. The honorary degree recognizes the college's gratitude for the remarkable leadership and commitment you have offered through your time as trustee and generous financial support. For this, we are proud to confer upon you, Natalie Rook, the honorary degree, Doctor of Humane Letters. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Natalie Rook. The Jack Jensen Award for Excellence in Teaching is the college's highest teaching award. Each year, the award honors a professor who communicates high expectations and encourages intellectual curiosity within and across disciplines, respects diverse talents and ways of learning by using a variety in instruction, and engages students and inspires them to do their best work. Dr. Lynn Garriock joined Colby-Sawyer College in 2001. Though her graduate work in applied social psychology from the University of Victoria informs her teaching and research in the areas of general psychology, social cognition, and social psychology of the law, it is her undergraduate experience at the liberal arts institution, Wilfrid Laurier University in Waterloo, Ontario, that most informs her teaching philosophy. To foster their enthusiasm, Lynn encourages students to participate actively in the classroom activities. She goes beyond simply lecturing by providing a comfortable, supportive, interactive environment in her classroom. One student nominator wrote, "I was encouraged to sit in one of Professor Garriak's classes when I was a senior in high school. Her engaging teaching strategies, hands-on learning activities, and inclusive classes of discussions made me want to attend Colby-Sawyer College." Lynn served this past year as the faculty moderator and currently chairs the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Task Force. She has served on the Teaching and Enrichment Committee and the Assessment Committee. She has presented on microaggressions and implicit bias at the Joint Mathematics meeting, and she has given keynote addresses on implicit bias. In 2019, Lynn was a member of the team that secured a 5-year National Science Foundation grant that launched the Colby-Sawyer Emerge Scholars Program, which identifies and recruits academically talented Pell-eligible students and prepares them for postgraduate success in science, technology, engineering, and math, careers, and graduate studies. Lynn is passionate about the importance of undergraduate education and takes a personal interest in the students she teaches. "Professor Garriak has always pushed me out of my comfort zone," wrote one student. "She encouraged me to do my best, making me a stronger and more confident student. She helped me get the most out of my college education." Please join me in congratulating Professor Lynn Garriak as this year's Jack Jensen Award for Excellence in Teaching. According to Colby-Sawyer tradition, the recipient of the Jack Jensen Award delivers the commencement address, so I turn the lectern over now to Lynn, whose speech is entitled, "The World is Shrinking."
Class of 2020, your family and friends, colleagues, President Stubner, and trustees, thank you for this honor. In preparation for my speech today, I decided to seek solace in my home country, and I spent a weekend in Ottawa, Canada. I was watching a young family in a cafe, and the father said to his son, "Mon fils, dépêche-toi d'ici." My son, hurry up, decide. His son, a beautiful, caramel-colored little boy, answered his father in English. I watched with fascination the back and forth between father and son, French and English. Eventually, the mother entered the conversation, and I think she was speaking Farsi, but I'm not sure. What was remarkable was the little boy did not answer her in English or Farsi, but rather French. At this moment, I realized this boy, no older than 10 years old, could converse in 3 different languages and embodied Canadian multiculturalism. As I was marveling at this, I heard the voice of one of my teachers. "The world is shrinking." I had joined a 3-4 class in the middle of the year, and my teacher sat her class in a circle and screeched, "The world is shrinking. There are yellow, brown, red, and black people, and we have to tolerate them." She was talking about me. I was the only person of color in the room, and she was talking about me. At the time, I didn't quite understand the nuance of the word tolerate, but it didn't feel good. I ruminated about this for years. As I became older, my ruminations became more complex. I was thinking about my race, my interaction with my gender. What does it mean to be Black? What does it mean to be a girl? What does it mean to be a Black girl with nappy-ass hair? And it wasn't until I was about 17, 18 years old before I could say, I was born this way. I and people who look the way I do not need to be tolerated. But by this time, I was off to university, and at university, we no longer talked about diversity as simply racial diversity. It was religious diversity, gender identity diversity, sexual orientation diversity, social economic status diversity, and the list goes on. Not only did we broaden the definition of diversity, we now talked about diversity as something to be celebrated, not tolerated. And so I celebrated diversity. Oktoberfest came along, I drank German beer. St. Patty's Day came along, I drank green beer. In all seriousness, though, at my undergrad, Wilfrid Laurier University, I was encouraged to explore issues of identity, gender, culture, nationality, both in the classroom and through cultural events. I read Toni Morrison and Milan Kundera. I even learned Maya Angelou's poem, Phenomenal Woman. The beginning of the poem is, "Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model's size, but when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I am a woman, phenomenally, phenomenal woman, that's me." Her poem ends, "Now you understand why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud." I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care, 'cause I am a woman, phenomenally, phenomenal woman, that's me. Maya Angelou wrote this poem around the time that I was born. I always thought she wrote this poem for me. At university, I was given a seat at the table for the first time in my life, where my perspective was powerful, valued, and recognized. It was the first time I didn't feel less than. As I dived in, I began putting distance between my childhood and the constant feeling of being belittled, degraded in my home, my school, my community. While I had friends throughout my childhood, I didn't truly belong to an inclusive community. I never felt I had a safe space to express my whole self. And suddenly at my liberal arts university, I was being encouraged to open up, be myself, be Black. It was okay if I was quirky, shy, emotional, dramatic, scared, and opinionated. On my undergrad campus, we engaged in rigorous debates about respect, inclusion, poverty, prison, education, immigration, policing. But in the end, we agreed a diverse community made us stronger. My undergrad professors offered hope and change. However, not everything was rosy, and I wasn't entirely happy. Surprise, surprise, eh? Unfortunately, the events on campus were juxtaposed with what was happening outside of our ivory tower on campus. I realized that not everyone believed in the celebration of diversity and inclusion. For example, when I started university, Marc Lepine entered a mechanical engineering classroom in École Polytechnique in Montreal. He separated 9 women from the men. He claimed he was fighting feminism, shot all 9 women, killing 6. He then left the room and killed 8 more women. In 1991, Rodney King was savagely beaten by the LAPD. A year later, 4 police officers were acquitted and LA was set on fire. Brandon Tina, a trans man, was raped and murdered as we headed into the mid-90s. I was still on a university campus when Matthew Shepard was killed in Laramie, Wyoming, simply because he was gay. We can celebrate diversity and inclusion all we want, but it doesn't seem good enough. At Colby-Sawyer College, our sociologists, Professors Kathleen Farrell and Kate Turcotte, are saints as they help our community understand issues of institutional classism, racism, and sexism. Colleagues around the college infuse throughout their curriculum the importance and necessity of interconnectedness. Sarah Braun and her team provide unrelenting programming on culture, race, ethnicity, and sexuality. Staff, faculty, and students across the college provide hope of an inclusive world and the aspirational promise that this great nation was built on. Between my time at university and yours, there has been significant progress. You have witnessed the first Black president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama. You saw the first Latina confirmed to the Supreme Court, Sonia Sotomayor. Hillary Rodham Clinton provided inspiration to many little girls and women when she became the first woman to be nominated for president of the United States by a major political party. Marriage, regardless of sexuality. But graduates, you, like I, have had to witness a difficult world. June 17, 2015, before you started college, Dylan Roof attended Bible study and then killed 9 African Americans in their place of worship. Approximately a year later, Omar Mateen killed 49 people and wounded 53 others in a mass shooting in a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida. During a rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, a white supremacist ran over a Caucasian woman, Heather Heyer. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on October 27, 2018, during a Shabbat morning service, Robert Gregory Bowers shot to death 11 people and wounded 6. This was the deadliest attack on American soil of Jews. Last August, the beginning of your senior year, a man slaughtered 22 people who appeared to be Mexican in El Paso, Texas. This spring, yet another unarmed black man was killed by police. Again, we can celebrate diversity all we want, but there's work to be done. Let me pause for just a minute, because I suspect that there are many people who are watching today who are wondering why I chose to talk about this topic today. I chose to talk about this topic today because this is an auspicious day. We are certainly here to celebrate our graduates and their families who have worked hard and sacrificed over the last 4 years. However, it is also a solemn day, a day where faculty and staff pass the torch to our newest nurses, coaches, potters, poets, public health officials, fiction writers, sculptors, athletic trainers, graphic designers, business managers, actors, filmmakers, our soon-to-be CEOs, politicians, librarians, biologists, occupational therapists, lawyers, teachers, historians, criminologists, psychologists, physicians, and even professors. It is not enough just to pursue your career, pay back your student loans, and worry about your rent or mortgage. A 4-year college degree is a privilege. Remember, most Americans do not have a college degree and do not have the resources or opportunities to obtain one. Graduates, it is your awesome responsibility, and I use the word awesome in the way that that word was meant to be used. It is your awesome responsibility to change the world. Here's what I know about your education and what it affords you. If you communicate, you will be heard. Liberal education coordinators, Mike Jockin and Peter White, assembled teams of faculty and staff to help you think critically and creatively, reason analytically, self-reflect, and communicate clearly. With those skills, you will not only thrive in your career, you will also be able to solve the wicked problems facing current and future generations. Trust me, those pesky quantitative reasoning skills drilled into you by the likes of Professors Marianne Allen, Andrew Cahoon, Samarka Likbahi, and Bill Spear will help you in the future. Take the skills that you have developed and honed at Colby-Sawyer College, first to advocate for yourself, and then advocate for those who do not have the advantages and privileges you have. I beseech you to advocate with and for those who are discriminated against. Advocate for those who are marginalized. Advocate for those who are forgotten. I passionately believe if we advocate for other people, we elevate not only their lives, but our own. I am passionate about this topic because, yes, I am Black, and Blacks and Latinx are disproportionately poor and in prison in this country. I am passionate about this topic because, yes, I am a woman, and women earn 79 cents to a white man's dollar, Black women earn 62 cents to a white man's dollar. Latinas earn 54 cents to a white man's dollar. I am passionate about this topic because, yes, I am a foreigner, and there has been an increased sharpness and nastiness to the rhetoric around foreigners for the last 20 years, but especially in the last 3.5 years. I would argue, however, even if you do not hold any of these minority intersectionalities or statuses, you should be equally as passionate as I. I would offer many of the social ills of today's world can be resolved if we value and respect diverse perspectives and invite everyone to participate in our communities to revolutionize our institutional processes, to finally achieve an egalitarian society. I zealously believe if we combat racism, classism, anti-Semitism, sexism, look at more generally bigotry and injustice, we can solve a whole host of wicked problems, including, but not limited to, illiteracy, food insecurity, and even climate change. It is in our best interest to treat people with dignity, regardless of class, gender, sexuality, race, ethnicity, and nationality. My Shriki teacher was right about one thing. The world is shrinking. More and more, we interact with a neighbor, a teacher, a boss, a friend, who may not look like us, sound like us, pray like us, love like us, and yet it is our responsibility to work together to make this a better world. A better world is an interconnected world where no one is left behind and each of us can move with grace, our heads not bowed. Many of you know one of my favorite television shows is Friday Night Lights, ostensibly about Texas high school football. The motto the coach and his players live by is clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. I would like to change the Friday Night Lights line slightly and give this piece of advice to the class of 2020. View the person who looks, sounds, thinks, loves, and worships differently than you with clear eyes, a full heart, and we can't lose. May this great nation continue to be blessed. Thank you.
The David H. Winton Baccalaureate Award is presented to the baccalaureate degree candidate who ranks highest in scholarship amongst those in the graduating class. Bailey Burke, a nursing major from Gardner, Maine, continues a multi-generational family legacy that began with her grandmother, who served as a nurse during World War II. As a Western Honors Program graduate who excelled during her 4 years at the college, Bailey is a member of Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society of Nursing and a 3-year member of Alpha Chi National College Honor Society, serving as co-president of the Colby-Sawyer chapter during the 2019-20 academic year. She and her capstone group were awarded the 2020 Nursing Capstone Award for their project, Standardization of Symptom Triage and Management Among Hospice Patients. Bailey was also committed to building a well-rounded academic portfolio through the pursuit of her creative passions. She took dance repertory and performance classes throughout her time at Colby-Sawyer and could often be found dancing in the studio during her free time. Bailey completed her senior practicum on the birthing pavilion at Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center in Lebanon, New Hampshire, where she will begin her nursing career as an RN this August. Bailey, congratulations on your award. This year, 2 students are receiving the David H. Winton Baccalaureate Award. Laura Contoulis, a creative writing major and studio art minor from Salem, Massachusetts, is as committed to the arts as she is to academic achievement. An Alpha Chi National Honor Society member who graduated in just 3 years, Laura used her time at Colby-Sawyer to explore her passions in art, writing, theater, and music. As a member of CSC Players, Laura performed in the musical production Legally Blonde her first year and in the play Lysistrata her second year. She was a member of the Colby-Sawyer Singers and Dance Club and took private voice lessons through the college. She was also a member of Word Order and the Anime Club. Laura plans to spend the next year further exploring music and theater
and developing her creative projects while working as a page at the Salem Public Library. In the future, she hopes to publish chapbooks of poetry, as well as a young adult novel titled Jailbird, which she started as her Colby-Sawyer capstone project. Please join me in congratulating the top scholars in the class of 2020 and the recipients of the David H. Winton Baccalaureate Award, Bailey Burke and Laura Contoulis.
The Colby-Sawyer Award is given to the graduate who, in the opinion of the faculty, best exemplifies the ideals of the college and personal dignity, intellectual growth, contribution to campus life, and constructive influence on other students. This year, Nichelle Cousin is the recipient of the Colby-Sawyer Award. Nichelle Cousin, a sociology major from Cambridge, Massachusetts, is a compassionate leader and role model both in the classroom and beyond. Shortly after stepping foot on campus, Nichelle realized her passion for helping others through her work as a peer mentor, working tirelessly to help fellow students adjust to life in a new environment. She was also a student ambassador, member of the African American Students Association and Presidential Blue Key Society, and served as president of the Knitting Club. For her internship, Nichelle decided to give back to the community her family has called home since relocating from New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina, writing resource referrals, providing emotional support, and leading group discussions on the concept of race and ethnicity at the Cambridge Women's Center in Cambridge, Massachusetts. A Dean's List student with a minor in legal studies, Nichelle plans to pursue her master's in school counseling in order to continue helping others well into the future as a high school guidance counselor.
The Nancy Beyer Opler Award for Excellence in Advising honors the academic advisor who best demonstrates the ability to facilitate students' adjustment to the academic community and support students in their academic and professional planning. This year, the Nancy Beyer Opler Award for Excellence in Advising is presented to Amy Lyon. When Amy Lyon, a member of the class of 1985, joined the faculty at Colby-Sawyer College in 2018, she landed her dream job by becoming a full-time professor at her alma mater. Throughout her career, Amy has always believed that character education is just as important as academics, and her philosophy is grounded in the concept of grit and the character traits that define it: optimistic thinking, self-control, and perseverance. Amy says that teaching and advising are all about relationships, and that educators do their best work when they truly get to know their students. If you really want to make a difference, it certainly helps to know students' backstories, she says. The more I know about a student, the greater chance I have to help guide them along their chosen paths. Amy's students agree. One nominator wrote, "Amy is a very compassionate person. She cares deeply about all of the students within her program and even those who are not her advisees. She will constantly check in to see how they are doing and goes above and beyond to make a meaningful connection." Outside of her professional work, Amy has served as a volunteer firefighter for the past 32 years. She lives in Wilmot with her husband Jay and their menagerie of animals. Amy, congratulations on receiving this year's award.
Each year, the seniors, faculty, and staff nominate someone from the graduating class to offer remarks and remembrances. This year, Nathaniel Felika was chosen as a senior commencement speaker. Nathaniel Felika, a nursing major from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, is both a mentor and role model to those who cross his path. A gifted student with a passion for healthcare, Nathaniel is equally as motivated outside the classroom, dedicating much of his time to helping those around him succeed. A member of the Wesson Honors Program, as well as the Alpha Chi National College Honor Society and Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society of Nursing, Nathaniel's commitment to academics is palpable in his achievements. Nathaniel worked hands-on as a student nurse extern in the coronary care, cardiac surgery unit, and cardiac telemetry unit at Eastern Maine Medical Center in Bangor, Maine, and plans to continue helping those who need him most as a critical care nurse in the Cardiovascular Surgical Unit at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. Please welcome him as he delivers his address titled, Belonging to a Revolution.
Thank you, Dean Davis. A friend of mine who graduated last year from a different school told me that commencement was a time when you look around and realize, wow, I don't know half of the people in my class. If we had been fortunate to have had an in-person graduation ceremony, we would have realized that this has not been the case at Colby-Sawyer College. The tight-knit community and the college's continued commitment to fostering a sense of belonging has allowed many of us to call this institution a home away from home. Belonging. Our psychological need to belong drives much of our behaviors, thoughts, and emotions. College is a tumultuous period of time where the sense of being accepted and included by those around us plays a significant role in our existences in a community. Belonging to the Charter community is not identified by the college's hard structures, but by its invisible assemblies. I saw it in the cluttered bulletin boards of Colgate Hall and the Ware Student Center, and in the brightly lit monitors around campus. These bulletin boards and screens often slip unnoticed, but they represent the heartbeat of our community, where clubs, theater and dance shows, art exhibits, and athletic events reach out to students so that they can become part of and belong to their world. I observed it when a graduating senior and his friends worked tirelessly to institute the LGBTQ+ Resource Center, which represented a pinnacle moment for the college towards fulfilling its commitment to the members of the LGBTQ+ community and the greater community at large. I saw it in sport games, theater productions, art openings, poetry readings, cultural and diversity events, and the lively student debates and open dialogues, which had the potency to set changes in motion in the administration. We belong to the Charter community, and for 4 short years, we have walked through the quad to different corners of our campus, picked up a world of experiences. We've played bingo in the dining hall, listened to comedians in Sawyer Center, sang karaoke in the lodge, attended our student-directed plays in the Black Box, and gathered at our campus safety-approved registered social functions most weekends. These invisible institutions highlight the community's vivacity, and we've been so magnificently sculpted by them. My personal Colby-Sawyer chapter started when I decided to take a road trip with my former boarding school teacher to visit the college 4 years ago. I had just finished a year at a community college and was looking to transfer, and he needed an excuse to visit his son. Coincidentally, his son, Benjamin or Ben Maines, gave me my tour, along with Barsha Rajmahandari, both classes of 2018. When I toured the college that summer, I was captivated by the aesthetics of the classically New England-styled residence halls, the enthusiastic tour guides, and of course, the care packages. Now, I'm not saying that the maple syrup bottles in my care package was a deciding factor, but it definitely played a role. I came to Colby-Sawyer because I felt like I could belong to a community, despite the college being predominantly Caucasian. For me, belonging to a community does not mean belonging to a group that celebrates parts of our identity because we are more than the labels we and/or society assign to us. No, we are eclectic. Yet our Charter community can often seem divisive when you see the same people showing up to Hot Wings Hot Topics, International Festival, or Drag Ball. This can be discouraging to students who dedicate their time sharing their culture and history and engage in hard conversations with the college community. Our college is not perfect, because that would mean that we do not have room to grow. Nevertheless, our students understand that what seem intractable problems today, in fact, are opportunities for us to change things and build for a better tomorrow. I applaud our students, student clubs and organizations, along with President Stubner, Dean Robin Davis, the senior leadership team, the Board of Trustees, and our staff and faculty who strive to promote diversity and inclusion and belonging at Colby-Sawyer College. The beauty behind our illustrious class is that we did not define ourselves by our majors, nor by the COVID-19 pandemic that was thrust upon us. No. We persevered, we challenged our professors, and we represented our schools and turned our creative outlets into employable skills. The college is sending out 159 leaders and revolutionaries into the world. If current events are any indication, we cannot idly remain acquiescent while injustice unfolds. We need revolutionaries. It is a privilege to be able to educate oneself about injustices instead of experiencing them. To remain willfully ignorant and conveniently complacent is to perpetuate the individual, institutional, and societal systems of oppression and inequalities that celebrate and appropriate parts of people's identities while disregarding their experiences that define them. Colby-Sawyer has given us skills to enter the workforce or graduate school, provided us with the resources that have helped us march into the next steps of our careers, and encouraged us to ask questions to uncover who we truly are, so that we always strive to be the best versions of ourselves. To be activists. Class of 2020. We will take new and revolutionary ideas and shape history instead of being shaped by it. We will leave a footprint of all the best we took from Colby-Sawyer onto our new destinations. As we try to find our place in this world, we will carry out civil conversations, rise above hatred, and open our minds to a world of new possibilities. To the Charger community, to our friends, and to our families, thank you for being so incredibly supportive of and committed to our journeys. To my fellow graduates, let's reflect on that shared journey and continue to uncover what it really means to belong. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Thank you, Nate, for offering your reflections today. We wish you all the best and best of luck. And now the time has come for the most anticipated part of our ceremony, the conferring of degrees. By the authority granted me by the legislature of the state of New Hampshire and the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Colby-Sawyer College, I hereby confer the appropriate degrees upon those who have met the requirements for graduation. Congratulations.
Associate in Liberal Arts, Stephen D. Ackerman. Allison Alton. Francesca Vilia Basile. Natalie Cruz. Maria DeBlois. Jenna DeVito. Reagan Gaskill. Selena Salvo. Morgan Emily Seebeck. Caitlin Stevens. Andrew Tenalia. Caitlin Alexandra Town. Cheyenne Whittemore. Bachelor of Arts, Studio Arts, Paige Helen Benchmer. Communication Studies, Julia Nicole Jagir. Katie Shippa. Kieran Flynn Topalia. Creative Writing, Cameron Bowling. Ashley Cheviot. Nara Elaine Cox. Laura Elizabeth Contools. Ethan Xavier Sapatella. Emily Clara Stott. English, Hannah Marie Collins. Graphic Design, Madeline Junglee Bolyo. Megan Coffey. History and Political Studies, Zachary Thomas Allen, who also earned a Bachelor of Arts in English. Peter Gray Baker. Ariel Donnelly. Samantha May Eaton. Rafael Gonzalez. Heather Kristen Howell. Megan Elizabeth Mullins. Kira Starks. Susan Michael Ward. Psychology, Oscar James Brockner. Jordan Page Conroy. Taryn Ray Fairbrother. Rachel Elizabeth Fisher. Devon Dale Opal Heathcote. Jordan Elizabeth Hughes. Isabel Lovett. Aman Yardley Pereira. Charles Edwin O'Brien. Madeline Lorraine O'Connor. Mackenzie Elizabeth Rokes. Kavya Shaw. Grace Lucille Vosberg. Self-designed, Brendan P. Libby. Isabel Marie Jasmine Mitchell. Sociology, Nichelle John Nure Kuzan. Talia Alicia Hardy. Anna Keenan Masters. Bachelor of Fine Arts, Studio Arts, Taylor C. Bala. Lillian Rose Price. Clementina Stone St. Sever. Graphic Design, Erin Kathleen Chute. Kaylin Lapham. Carrie Ann LeBeau. Melanie Petray. Sam Thomas. Bachelor of Science, Accounting, Michael Jacob Bullen. Harley Sue Leno. Jose Manuel Robles Brito. Athletic Training, Jesse Avery Corriveau. Danilo James Salgado. Biology, Caitlin Bernash. Catherine Bischoff. Erin Jane Bradley. Odinel Brito Sanchez, Hannah Nagash Degafu, Jacob Samuel Morris Feinberg, Samantha Nicole Fino, Lexi Reed Hamilton, Cassandra Lewis, Woodvine Pierre, Business Administration, Jack Thomas Alisi, Sarah Elaine Auer, Hannah Barrett, who also earned her Bachelor of Fine Arts in Studio Art, Emma James Bidwell, Jacob A. Campbell, Alan Anthony Cavosa, Jr., Kristen Lynn Donahue, Nathaniel Ryan Dudkowicz, Hunter Heath, Kelsey Elise Judkins, William Madden, Achilles J. Marcano, Benjamin Adam Morse, Shania Mary Louise Perham, Anne Elizabeth Sadler, Christian Michael Smith, Bronson J. Stevens, Catherine Stockley, Rebecca Lynn Strauble, Johnny White, Alexander Thomas Withington, Child Development, Jenna Helen Bensheimer, Madison Donahoe, Alexandra Charlotte Marie Jones, Annabeth Ava Lewis, Kanaya E. Maldonado, Alexis Taylor Morgan, Child Development Education Prep, Cheyenne Elizabeth Ellis, Environmental Science, William R. Assel, Rebecca Budruck, Carrie Marie Cree, Taylor Devaney, Jessica Lynn Dupuy, Timothy Esteban Gabloski, Anna B. Hubbard, Taylor M. Spadafora, Environmental Studies, Nathan Renaud Levine, Cameron Lynch, Abigail Emily Shute, Exercise Science, Charles Dana Bean III, Raina Elizabeth Syriac, Alexa Rose Conlin, Courtney Kuchar, Leah Dupuy, Jordan Enos, Allison M. Fairbairn, Olivia May Goodrich, Brianna Griffin, Catherine Rachel Harris, who also earned a Bachelor of Arts in Studio Art, Alexis Autumn Lapointe, Molly Beth McClure, Jared Parkins, Timothy Unkser, Nursing, Ashley Rose Allgood, Angela S. Beamer, Julia R. Boucher, Bailey Burke, Brittany Marie Buckley, Caitlin M. Butler, Cheryl Marie Calhoun, Noah Byron Clay, Caitlin Marie Clifton, Jillian M. Colby, Abigail Cook, Amanda Kuchar, Hannah Ray Cuthbertson, Samantha E. Daniels, Allison E. DiGiovanni, Deanna M. DePrima, Nathaniel Felica, Morgan Rose Flynn, Imani Gatesons Olson, Daniel Gillis, McKenna Gould Murray, Benjamin Leith Jones, Catherine Monroe Kessler, Kaylee N. Landry, Nina Lloyd, Emily Grace Malene, Jocelyn R. Martin, Erin Marie Merriam, Jessica T. Miles, Samantha K. Mitchell, Jamie J. Moore, Megan A. Nadeau, Alexandra L. Paquette, Candy Pollard, Veronica Rachek, Samantha Lee Shipman, Megan N. Spainhauer, Brooke Aline St. Ange, Shaylin R. Walker, Carmen Lee Westenfeld, Marissa A. Williams, Shannon Nicole Wright, Megan Yaw, Public Health, Lila Bradley, Sarah Elizabeth Carlin, Megan Ann Doan, Samantha Nicole Hardy, Brianna Grace Parker, Molly Elizabeth Fenning, Olivia Marie Randlett, Sophia Angelini Sorcy, Hadley Ann Woodfin. Sport Management, Colin Andrews, Eric Spencer Antonacci, Patrick Coffey, Mariah Keeler, Benjamin Stone Lewis, Tiana Ashley Sugars, Michael Wayne White, Cody Thomas Wilson.
Please join me in congratulating the graduates in the class of 2020. Graduates, if you've not already done so, you may move your tassels from right to left as a symbol of your graduation. We wish you well as you go forth, and we hope your careers and personal lives bring you happiness and great satisfaction. You will always be a part of the Colby-Sawyer family wherever you go, and we hope you will often return to your home here in New London. Congratulations to each and every one of you. In order to continue the festivities and congratulations, we encourage you to join your faculty in the designated Zoom destinations. You should have received an email with the location of where to connect with your faculty. Thank you, and congratulations again to the class of 2020.